of our Thesis Week orals. Thank you for being here to listen and support Simi. As we are beginning this, just kind of announcements. If you have a digital device, will you please put it on silent? That way it is not disruptive. For you to have a clear picture, Simi will come speak. After speaking, she'll sit with her panel and answer questions and defend her thesis today. What we ask of you as an audience is that you will be here seated and remain for the entirety of the event. It should be about 55 minutes, and so we're going to try to kind of keep a tight time on it today, but we do appreciate you being here. Simi will be announced. We'll have you stand up and welcome her and the panel to the room as we begin the event in just like a minute and a half. So, thank you.
You may be seated. Good morning and welcome to Senior Thesis Week. This is going to be an exciting week, and thank you for starting off this morning to come show your love and support to Simi as she shares her thesis, Achieving Restoration Through Holistic Health. And it has been my pleasure to have Simi as my senior assistant, and so I'm very excited for you to hear what she is very passionate about today. And on our panel today we have Mr. McDuffie, Mrs. Rogers, and I'm Debbie Shelburne. And so if you will, bow your heads and we'll pray. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this glorious day that you've given us, and I thank you for this precious young woman that stands here today. Father God, I thank you for all the hard work that she has invested into this moment, and I thank you for the lives that she touches and it shows today as this room is full by what the impression that she makes on everyone. I pray that you just clothe her in your peace and give her confidence as she shares today, Father God, and give her clarity of voice. We just love you and we praise you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Most everyone is familiar with the health benefits of blueberries. They aid in heart health, bone strength, skin health, diabetes management, cancer prevention, and even mental health. 1 cup of blueberries provides 24% of a person's daily intake of vitamin C. This is why they are considered to be a superfood, or as my mother used to say, medicine. The Greek physician Hippocrates once said, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." Why is it that when we are sick, a conventional doctor prescribes us a pill for symptoms that are easily treated by consuming nutritious foods? Why is it that a person diagnosed with depression is given antidepressants when a better diet would do so much more for them? God designed our bodies in such an intricate way that they are capable of healing themselves if given the opportunity, meaning eating food closest to its God-given state instead of processed, GMO-filled, hormone-induced food. God designed our bodies to not always be in a constant state of stress, but to have peace, even during typically stressful times. There are many health obstacles that Christians encounter daily that can prevent us from serving others effectively, embracing truthful thinking, and spreading the gospel to those around us. When we pursue genuine, holistic health, we are able to align our lives with God's design for us and can achieve full restoration through Him. In the field of holistic medicine, a holistic doctor will utilize a variety of treatments to treat the patient as a whole, not just their illness. Holistic practitioners believe that if one area of the body is suffering, it can affect the entire body. Therefore, this type of medical practice focuses on healing the individual as a whole, including their physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Vitality is the idea that our bodies are capable of healing themselves if given the opportunity. If you have a paper cut on your finger, your platelets are activated and know exactly how to form a clot to stop the bleeding. If you break your arm, your osteoblasts or bone cells know exactly how to heal that infection, as long as you keep it from moving in a cast. This concept does not apply to just cuts and breaks, though. Our bodies are capable of healing from just about any type of chronic disease, heart condition, all the way to different types of cancer if given the proper remedies. For my oral, I interviewed Dr. Ben Edwards, the founder and medical director of Veritas Medical, a functional medicine facility in Lubbock, Texas. I chose to interview Dr. Edwards because his story really fascinates me. He comes from a long line of conventional doctors, or doctors that practice traditional medicine. He attended traditional medical school and had a very successful conventional medicine facility, with no intentions to change his way of practice. This was until his nurse practitioner, who had been diagnosed with celiac disease, a disease triggered by consuming gluten, was able to heal himself completely from a disease that is said by conventional doctors to be incurable. This grabbed Dr. Edwards' attention and ultimately ended in him switching his entire practice over to functional medicine. Since then, he has seen groundbreaking results and has created a thriving program for people who are interested in healing themselves from the inside out. As part of his miracle cure, Dr. Edwards has formulated 4 pillars for health success, including nutrition, hydration, movement, and peace. We learned in biology that every human body is composed of about 100 trillion cells, and billions of these cells are regenerated daily. If we want to build high-quality cells in our bodies, we must consume high-quality food. The saying, "you are what you eat," is often joked about, but there is validity in that statement. If we are putting garbage into our body, we can expect to get garbage out. The same goes for quality foods. It is important to eat organic for many reasons. The first being that most organic farmers use no pesticides on their crops, and if they do, the pesticides are derived from natural substances that must be approved for organic production. But why are pesticides even bad? Synthetic pesticides tend to contain chemicals like chlorpyrifos, which have been found to damage and lower IQ in young children. Synthetic pesticides have also been proven to damage the health of the soil used for plants, taking away a significant amount of nutrients in that plant. To put this into perspective, Dr. Edwards was telling me about a study done in 1977 with apples. The study found that 1 apple from 1950 is equal in nutritional value to 26 apples from 1977, meaning you would have to consume 26 1977 apples to get the same nutritional benefits as 1 1950 apple. And this study was done in 1977. Imagine how many apples you would have to eat in 2023 to equal a 1950 apple. If there are no unnatural pesticides harming the health of the soil, however, the fruit or vegetable should be much more nutritious. Supplements are also a necessary aspect of holistic health due to the lack of nutrients in our soil. This is quite unfortunate because if our soil was still in good health and we were getting all of our necessary nutrients from our diet, we would not need supplements. Supplements are actually what sparked my interest in holistic medicine. In 2021, I was diagnosed with anemia and was given conventional iron pills. These iron pills had detrimental side effects that I was not aware of when I began taking them. I experienced many of these side effects, which ultimately led me to stop taking the pills because I would rather experience the side effects of anemia than the side effects of these pills. After conversing with my aunt, who is passionate about holistic health, she recommended that I take all-natural beef liver supplements. I was hesitant at first, mostly because they tasted the way that fish food smells, but I immediately noticed a vast improvement. After taking these supplements for about 6 months, my anemia was pretty much gone and I have had no struggles ever since. Another supplement I have been taking for a while is the Juice Plus supplements. These supplements have an exceeding amount of health benefits, including decreased levels of inflammation, gut health, skin health, and athletic performance, even though I'm not quite seeing the athletic performance results yet. Another benefit of eating organic is that organic food contains no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. Being someone who grew up on Fruity Pebbles, Gushers, Kool-Aid Jammers, and many other foods and drinks containing artificial dyes, the research I found on these harmful substances was daunting. Most food dyes are derived from petroleum and are used to give food, usually food targeted at children, an enhanced appearance, according to the FDA. Not only are they made with unrefined petroleum, but red 40 and yellow 5 and 6 contain the chemical benzene, a known carcinogen, meaning they are capable of causing cancer. There have also been many studies establishing a link between unnatural food dyes and hyperactivity in children. Organic eating has many nutritional benefits, but the nutritional pillar of holistic health is not just eating organic. It is fueling your body with foods that are beneficial and taking out those that are not. In today's world, many types of foods are refined and processed for dumb reasons, such as salt and milk. Humans tend to believe that milk straight from the cow or raw milk is full of harmful bacteria and therefore needs to go through pasteurization for us to safely drink. This is not the case, however. On top of all the nutrients raw milk can provide for humans, 99% of the time it is safe to drink. After all, that is all humans drank up until the Industrial Revolution. At this point in the 19th century, dairy factories were popping up in every major city to supply the needs of booming populations. Unfortunately, this led to cows being kept in the close vicinity of each other, being forced to dwell in their own filth and foul air with reeking swill or liquid food to dine on that had little to no nutritional value. Cows were not the only organisms affected by these conditions, however. So were humans. Mothers were feeding their infants this unhealthy milk unknowingly, causing over 8,000 infant deaths in New York in 1858. The New York Academy of Medicine found that this was a direct cause of the country's milk production system. People began to understand that dirty milk contained harmful germs, and they are what made people sick. Thus, pasteurization was invented. Although pasteurization did kill harmful germs in milk, it made its nutritional value go significantly down. Unpasteurized raw milk is so rich in vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and probiotics compared to pasteurized milk that stating these benefits would take me an extra 3 minutes. Not to mention, most lactose-intolerant people are able to properly digest raw milk due to the enzyme lactase, which is responsible for breaking down lactose into digestible form. Along with raw milk, another food misconception that many people believe is that salt is bad for you. Growing up, my grandmother suffered from a stroke due to high blood pressure and was told that salt was the worst thing she could consume. I believed this for a long time too, and in a sense, it is true. Table salt, the worst salt for you, contains 2 elements, sodium and chloride. When the salt you are ingesting is concentrated only these 2 elements, it is bad for you. High amounts of sodium are extremely harmful to people with high blood pressure. In the book, Salt Your Way to Health by David Brownstein, he says that unrefined salt contains over 80 minerals, with endless amounts of health benefits, aiding in hydration, cardiac function, relief from arthritis, and so much more. Table salt is refined simply to promote a longer shelf life and to prevent it from clumping together, along with making it all one color, since apparently salt that is not pure white is bad. Salt also ties us into the second pillar of holistic health, hydration. Salt and water are inexorably tied together. Hydration impacts every process in our body, so if you are derived from it, you can imagine what all it affects. Water and salt are necessary for healthy cell function, joint lubrication, improved metabolism, brain function, better sleep, weight loss, and so much more. As I previously mentioned, sodium and chloride can be harmful if you overconsume, but when you ingest the right amount in a good, unrefined salt, they can benefit your body. Sodium and chloride, along with many other minerals found in unrefined salt, help to deliver water to the cells in your body, meaning a diet that's low in these minerals can increase your risk of dehydration. And there's a common misconception that the average human should consume 8 glasses of water a day. Drinking a lot of water throughout the day is great. However, some people may need more than 8 glasses and some may need less. How much water a person needs can be determined by many factors, including body size, activity levels, weather, and even your city's elevation. Measuring hydration through urine color is one way to know if you need to drink more water. Dark yellow to amber can point to dehydration, while pale yellow typically indicates that a person is hydrated. Chugging a ton of water at once is not good for hydration, though. According to David Sandstrom in The Christian's Guide to Holistic Health, humans can generally only absorb 1 ounce of water every 5 minutes. If we drink water faster than that, it will go right through us. The third pillar of Dr. Edwards' path to health success is movement. Not exercise, but movement. Even though doing hardcore CrossFit and running marathons may be beneficial to a person's overall health, they are not necessary for becoming a healthy person. According to Dr. Edwards, sitting at a desk for 8 to 10 hours a day is more deadly to a person than smoking cigarettes. We are designed to move around, not sit in one spot for 8 or more hours a day. Movement can help to deliver water and oxygen to our cells, remove toxins through our lymphatic system, reduce stress, reduce anxiety, improve sleep, and many, many other things. Movement can significantly help with any disease rooted in inflammation, including heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure. A life without movement leads to stagnation in the cells, resulting in inflammation, and can therefore cause many diseases. As I previously mentioned, you do not have to be a powerlifter to experience real health. Movements during the day include getting up from your desk every hour and doing simple stretches, such as wall push-ups or squats. The effects of sitting at a desk for 8 hours straight are not reversed by going to the gym at the end of the day either. You need to move frequently. Dr. Edwards said it best: if exercise were a pill, it would be an all-time bestseller. The fourth and arguably most important pillar for health success is peace. Our nervous systems have 2 modes: sympathetic, or fight or flight, meaning in a constant state of stress, and parasympathetic, or rest and digest, meaning being at peace. If a person does not have peace in their lives and are constantly in a state of fight or flight, all the aspects of holistic health I have previously mentioned will have minimal results. God designed us to be in parasympathetic mode, as the Bible talks about in 2 Corinthians 13:11. Finally, brothers and sisters, rejoice. Aim for restoration. Comfort one another, agree with one another, live in peace, and the God of love and peace will be with you. However, as you can imagine, most of us are constantly in sympathetic mode. Sympathetic mode is extremely detrimental to our day-to-day lives. When we are in sympathetic mode, 40% of our stomach's acid pumps shut off, resulting in us not being able to properly break down proteins into amino acids, which are the building blocks for our mood stabilizers: serotonin, dopamine, and melatonin. This means that you being stressed out is causing your body to prevent yourself from getting out of a stress state. If our bodies are in a constant state of fight or flight, our bodily systems do not do their job to their full potential, causing more health problems overall. When we are stressed, our heart rate goes up, our breathing rate goes up, our blood pressure goes up, and so do our stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol. When your cortisol levels spike, it can block thyroid function, which disrupts sleep, metabolism, brain function, and many other things. But how do we stop stress? This is where our spiritual health is intimately connected with our mental and physical health. It is less about the stresses we have in our lives, but more about the way that we manage them. Our ability to be at peace is determined by rooted beliefs that we have about ourselves. When our thoughts about ourselves are impacted by lies from the devil, it causes us to react irrationally to stress instead of realizing that whatever is causing you to stress will be taken care of by God. Like John 10:10 states, "The thief comes only to steal, to kill, and destroy, but I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." The devil strives to steal our peace and cause us stress, but God sent Jesus so that we may have abundant life. David Sandstrom defines abundant life in The Christian's Guide to Holistic Health as our hearts being redeemed, fully alive, and free to be all that God created us to be. By being in a state of peace, we will find it easier to experience satisfaction, productivity, effectiveness, and an overall joy in living. Holistic health to many people is a relatively new idea. However, it is really just going back to the way our great-great-grandparents lived. Genuine holistic health allows for our life to be in harmony with God's design for us, permitting us to better appreciate the abundant life we have in Christ. God is committed to you becoming more whole. All the reasons I have mentioned before would simply not be possible without prayer and relationship with Him. God will help you in all areas of your life, including your journey with holistic health. You just have to ask for your guidance, ask for His guidance, and believe that He has your back no matter what. Like Psalms 32:8 says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way that you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. Thank you.
Okay, Simi, how are you feeling right now?
Feeling pretty good, surprisingly. You want to say that again?
All right. So, job well done. Very well. All right. As I knew you would do and everything. So, and I know the speech was not the big thing for you. This is what you've been anxious about, correct? Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah, we're going to grill you and drill you. Tough board here, all right? So, all right. Well, so my first, I just want to thank you so very much for investing all this time in your oral. You've just made my job so easy this year. I'm like, I love this. And it's been a pleasure to have you as my senior assistant. And I don't think you've just taken the class and gone with it, so it's been wonderful. So thank you. All right, so I do have my first question for you as you finish this, and today the weight is going to be taken off of your shoulders, and you can just enjoy the rest of this week and next week. And so you've got the lovely summer that will go by fast. So what is your plans for next year?
I plan to attend Oklahoma University and major in health, medicine, and society.
Okay, wonderful. So that this topic, you're going to continue it on.
Yes, I want to become a holistic practitioner.
Okay, and that makes me so happy, so very happy, because it's very hard to find the holistic practitioners and everything, and so they're very needed. And so, okay, wonderful. So as in great books, we had to clarify, reading The Republic, we had, the definition of justice, and we just beated that around, and I don't know whether we ever came up with a final definition, but we wanted to clarify our terms. So go ahead, clarify the difference between holistic and conventional or Western medicine. Just short little tidbits.
Yeah, so holistic is pretty much healing yourself through food and through supplements and through just natural remedies, whereas conventional medicine is through surgery and pills for the most part.
Okay, so, and I love the holistic because it's treating it as a whole and trying to find that root, okay, instead of just the pain and the ailment. Okay, all right. So in this, we see treating the whole and seeing the benefit of this. Why do you think people are so resistant to this approach to their health?
I think just really because it takes time. I think Western medicine is really fast. It's a really fast fix, and a lot of people turn away from holistic medicine because it's not as fast.
Okay. Okay. And I agree with you on that, too, because it's easier, as Dr. Edwards, you said about exercise, if it was in a pill, it would be the number one seller. It is. It's easier to take that pill, isn't it? Yeah, because we don't have to work. We don't have to be conscious about our nutrition. So you said the 4 pillars were what?
Nutrition, hydration, movement, and peace.
Okay. So if I were going to work on these pillars, do I have to work on each one all at once, or do I start with one at a time? What would be the best way to start if I didn't know anything and I wanted to jump on this bandwagon? How would I start?
I don't know how Dr. Edwards would answer this question, but I would probably say start with peace. I think peace is important amongst all the other 3. I think if you have peace, then going into the other 3, it'll be a lot easier.
Okay. Oh, very good. Very good. Because it does. You've got to have peace with the direction that you're going and everything. Because it is hard when you're looking at your nutrition. Like you said, it's better to eat organic, but you don't have to. But you have to read those labels.
Yes, it can be very overwhelming for sure.
It can, totally, and just hydrating, making sure you're getting enough water and everything. So which one of these pillars is, besides peace, which one do you struggle with more?
Definitely probably nutrition.
Okay.
I think, like I said, being someone who grew up on all these unhealthy foods, they're like my comfort foods.
Okay.
My parents like to say I have such a sweet tooth. Like, I love sugar. So I always want to eat like gushers and fruit snacks and stuff that isn't good for me.
And we all do, because I've said many a ARD meeting with parents, and telling them that, if they would just watch their diet of their child and not do the red coloring and different things, sugar and everything, that we wouldn't have to put them on medication, and the parents would choose the medication instead of the food because it was easier. And so, I totally understand that. All right. How do you think a Christian should view holistic medicine?
I think really they should view it as the way that God designed our bodies to work, God put all these different nutritious foods in place for us to eat, for us to use for our benefit, not for us to just think that they're useless.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to turn it over.
Great job, Simi. Okay, you had me hooked at blueberries at the beginning. I have to admit, I read that paragraph aloud to my husband, and we went out and bought a package of blueberries. And we haven't finished it yet, but the idea is there to eat my cup a day here soon. So I'm going to give you a softball question to start, going off of the blueberries. If you could choose one desert island food to sustain yourself, what would it be? Not blueberries. Okay.
Probably mangoes, but only if I could have tahini to put on them.
Okay.
I love mangoes.
Okay, tahini mangoes. Yum. That sounds awesome. Okay, cool. So I wanted to focus on kind of your thesis statement and then maybe nutrition if we have a little bit of time. So your thesis is to pursue genuine holistic health. We are able to align our lives with God's design for us and achieve full restoration through Him. Mm-hmm. So what do you think full restoration in God looks like?
I think just being able to live out every day, spreading the gospel to other people and just helping people and just, shining your light to everybody around you.
Yeah, I love that. Do you think that full restoration that we have, do you think that it can be found in the achievement of these pillars or in the pursuit of them? Okay.
I think it can be found in the pursuit because obviously we're not going to achieve them.
Right.
Really, we're imperfect humans.
Right.
I think it's definitely found in pursuing them.
Great. That's awesome. Yeah, I think kind of takes me to the process of sanctification versus glorification. We're in the process of being sanctified to look more and more like Christ, and so you said that peace is kind of that number one driving aspect of that. Do you think that a believer can be fully at peace with God if they don't take good care of their body and pursue health?
I think so. I know a ton of people they're like on their deathbed and they have peace.
Right.
I think it's possible.
Yeah. Well, everybody dies, I guess, too. We have to go out somehow, but leave it to me to bring some dark element to this thesis. So how does pursuing health image our Creator? How does that reflect the image of God to pursue these 4 pillars?
That was kind of hard. I think God worked every day to, serve, or Jesus worked every day to serve those around Him, I think. And by us being in a good state of health, we are able to also serve others around us effectively.
That's good. Yeah, that's great. Do you have any encouragement to somebody who's maybe struggling with one aspect of a pillar? Maybe it is nutrition or movement or something like that.
So whenever I interviewed Dr. Edwards, he was telling me, well, I'll just start I know like holistic health, it can be really overwhelming, especially like if you can't just really jump right in. So Dr. Edwards was telling me about this little thing he does that like for every type of food, there's like a good version, there's a better version, and there's the best version. So if you have like, take milk for example, a good version would be, you know, organic grass-fed milk that you get from the grocery store. That's like a reputable brand. Better would be, well, if you're lactose intolerant, like almond milk or goat milk. And then the best would be raw milk. That's from a good cow.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
think that was, because you don't have to go in with all the best options, you know, just making better decisions overall, making better food choices.
That's great.
You have a choice in it.
That's great. Yeah, actually, that kind of brings me to another question I had. With nutrition, you know, if you wanted to start somewhere within that pillar, so we're starting with peace amongst all four of the pillars, like you said, and then if once you get to the nutrition element of your life, how do you figure out like where do you even start? Because it's a little overwhelming in our culture of choices.
So there's 3 foods that Dr. Edwards said were like the most harmful to him, and it's processed seed oils, sugar, and processed grains. So I think just taking those out of your diet first will be the most beneficial. What to start with, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like, sugar is the enemy. What's the, I think there's a documentary, I think it's Fed Up. There's all those health food documentaries out on all of the streaming places. And I think Fed Up is the one about sugar. They all focus on something. There's some agenda on all of them. But, it just talks about how detrimental it is. And it causes a lot of what some people call like diseases of affluence. So it's like heart disease and cancer. And it feeds those diseases and rather than killing them. So what does, if I'm a new parent, so thinking about like raising my child to eat well and to be, to also enjoy her life, how do I instill health in my child while letting her eat a cupcake at a birthday party and be relatively normal? Or should she eat the cupcake at the birthday party? Yeah.
I think things like that, I don't think it should be something that is causing you to worry, is causing you to stress. I think, food is a joy to a lot of people. I don't think eating holistically should take away that element of joy. I think just, for like say her school lunch or whatever, just doing healthy things like that. But then whenever she goes to a birthday party, obviously let her eat a cupcake. Yeah. I think, like I was talking with Dr. Edwards, instead of putting like say goldfish in your child's lunch, you can put just like cheese.
That's great.
Some kids might not like that as much, but if they didn't grow up on goldfish, they're not going to expect goldfish.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, I think one of the assignments in culinary, which may or may not have went over well, but was to go home and make a healthier version of a snack that you enjoy. And so I think somebody maybe this Tavin made Cheez-Its, or is it Tavin? I think. And so, I love Cheez-Its, but if you can find a healthier version of that, you're good to go. So.
And that's I think one thing I learned in culinary is a lot of times, eating more whole foods can be cheaper. Like we had this one assignment where we had to go to Market Street and we were assigned like a recipe that we had to make and a budget that we had to do with it. So my group was assigned, I think it was chicken fried rice, and we had to make spring rolls. So we got all the stuff for chicken fried rice. And then we thought, okay, we don't have enough money to get this stuff to make spring rolls, so we just got frozen spring rolls. And come to find out, it probably would have been cheaper for us to actually just buy like the whole vegetables and stuff to put in the spring rolls instead of just buying the frozen ones.
Yeah, it's amazing what all you can achieve just by taking the extra step to do a little bit more labor, but like at the end of the day, you're feeding your body something way better, and it probably is going to taste a little bit less fake. So awesome. Okay, I'll pass it along.
Hello, Simi. Well done. Do you remember last Tuesday?
Last Tuesday.
Economics class?
What did we do? I don't know. It's been a long week.
Well, I was doing really good on my holistic diet, avoiding things. And you've helped me with that all year because you bring me eggs, farm fresh, cage-free, range-free, whatever you call them, eggs. And I enjoy those a lot, and I eat them all. And I was doing great, and you brought this big box and opened it up, and it was full of donuts. And I said, no, you offered me donuts. I said, no, I don't want any. But you left it open. And I lasted for about 10 minutes. And you remember how many of them I ate?
3.
Do you feel guilty about that?
Mr. Medtuck, it was just your cheat meal.
Oh, sorry. It was about cheat meal.
I have one.
Oh, okay, well, I feel better now. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I love holistic stuff. I've read and kept up with some of it. My wife likes it a lot. And, you do pretty good for a while until, somebody brings donuts to class. And, So my question is, how difficult is it to live a holistic life in a modern age if you're just, the average Joe?
Well, I think to be fully holistic, Dr. Edwards, crazy. I look up to him so much, but his lifestyle, he lives on a farm, and I don't know, he mills his own flour, and that's kind of crazy to me. But I think just being the average human, you can buy whole wheat flour, organic flour. I think just replacing your normal processed bleached all-purpose flour with whole wheat organic flour. Very good.
All right. Well, yeah, how many people can live on a farm, though? And raise all their own stuff?
Yeah.
And how many people even know what good nutrition is? Do we even teach that in schools anymore, unless you take culinary?
Yeah, I learned a lot in culinary.
Yeah.
I really don't think it's taught that much in school. I feel we're taught a lot about, healthy dieting in the sense of you need to have vegetable on your plate, you need to have whatever on your plate, you know what I mean?
Okay. And I try to eat healthy, but you look into health food, and man, that stuff's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
How do you realistically do that? Okay, first of all, a lot of stuff to know. You have to really do some research to figure out what it all is, and then you got to be able to afford it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how do you? What would your advice be? To somebody who's living on a fixed income.
I actually asked Dr. Edwards a similar question, and it's kind of, you're either going to pay for healthy food now or medical bills in the future. Pick which one you want to pay for.
But I got Obamacare.
Good for you, Mr.
So I don't have to worry about the end.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about that.
Okay. Well, for an old guy like me, I didn't always eat healthy. Is it possible to turn the clock back? Because I got years of bad eating behind me.
I don't know, what, how, if it'll turn the clock back in the sense of, extending your life, But I know it will make you feel better overall.
Okay. Well, I'll wait till you get out of school, and when you come back here to practice, I'll come, and maybe you'll have figured it out by then. All right, so I'll try to make this my last question because I know we've got limited time. Okay, so government, industry, a lot of people know all the garbage that's in the food today and all the health hazards that it creates. I've read, and it's doctors say probably most of the people that they see and treat have self-inflicted, ailments, from eating, drinking, the wrong things, over many years. And so if we know all of this and we know that health care is so expensive, why is it there more of a concerted effort to move away from that, to take all the dyes out of food, to, make things healthier, but maybe through legislation? I don't know.
I think really because it's a money scheme.
Oh, okay.
If we were to do that...
Where'd you learn that?
Economics. I think if we were to really push forward through that, it would make a lot of companies, a lot of food places would suffer.
Okay. I
Yeah.
agree. Okay. All right. I'm gonna pass it back to Mrs.
All right, Simi. Mr. McDuffie and I always ask about the same questions, and we tried to confer, but he took 5 of my questions. But anyway, so I in the holistic life, I know, like you said, the beef liver smelling like fish food. Yes. Okay, there are, along with the holistic, there are a lot of supplements because the nutrition. We try to do organic, and then if you can't do organic, you'll do the next best thing, and it is so hard to find good quality food. I have an organic son that is an organic farmer, and his crops are just well sought at. People want his lettuce. I can put his lettuce and it will last a month if we don't eat it as fast, and it's just as healthy. You can tell a difference, and it doesn't taste. So we do have to supplement a lot, and that is kind of the drawback with the holistic, is the supplements that you're doing to get the nutrition that you need. And so, are there any supplements that are bad?
Yeah, so for sure, I think just like food, there can be supplements that are overly processed and can have unnecessary ingredients in them. I think, we live in a day and age where our phones are literally at the tips of our fingers. Like, we can Google anything. If you find a supplement, the ingredients on the back, if you don't know what something is, you can just Google it, figure out if it's bad for you. I mentioned I like Juice Plus because the fruit and vegetables that they put into them, they're harvested at the correct time, which Dr. Edwards was telling me about a lot of things, like canned green beans, for example. The vitamin C in those is like such a difference from like the moment that they were picked. I think he said vitamin C goes down like 25% a day, like the moment it's picked from a vine.
Yes. Which
is crazy. So I like Juice Plus because they're harvested at the correct time, and then they use a process called individual quick freeze, which ensures that all the nutrients are locked in them, so you're getting all the proper nutrients when you take them.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad you mentioned Juice Plus because I know you're taking it, and you haven't seen the effects that you want as far as your athletic performance. So when the Juice Plus kicks in, your body's saturated with it. I want to know what sport or athletic event do you want? Is that performance going to really make you shine in?
I want to be good at volleyball. I want to be good for my mom.
Now, why does that volleyball mean so much to your mom?
Well, my mom coached volleyball.
Okay.
She coached middle school volleyball. And I don't know. So my mom is really good at sports.
Okay.
My dad is where I get my athletic ability from. So my mom was, unfortunately, all of her kids got my dad's genes. So I really wish I could be good at volleyball for her.
Okay. All right. Well, we're just going to pray that Juice Plus does do that for you. All right. Okay. All right. Well, my next question, of course, everybody in the room, even Mr. McDuffie was asking you this question in the back. Where did you get those cute shoes?
Oh, I got them at Dillard's.
They are so cute.
Thank
so
you.
cute. I'm so envious. All right. Okay. All right. Well, Simi, changing it and everything, like you've been in Great Books this year with us and you've taught it. And this is kind of a unique situation for you because you were a senior assistant in Great Books with this group of kids. And in your Great Books class, you had a sibling in your Great Books that you got to teach also. But then yet, this group of kids were your peers in one of your classes, biology.
Yes.
So usually we don't have that mix. So how did that all work out for you this year?
It was fun. It was really fun, having it was odd, sometimes I would wake up like in my house and kids from my senior assistant class would be there. So just going out and be like with my bed hair and everything, like, oh, you're here. Oh my goodness. It was so fun.
Good. You handled it very, very well, and you just have a good rapport with the students. I am going to pass because I'm watching our time so we can get a few more questions before we have to.
Okay. I would love to talk about your pillar of peace. I definitely agree that this is the most important of it all because it drives the other three pillars, being successful in them. So, first of all, you talk about the sympathetic and parasympathetic mode. What mode are you in right now, would you say?
It's like 45 minutes ago. Sympathetic.
Yeah.
I feel like really this year I've worked really hard to be in parasympathetic mode, especially with this being my senior year. You know, there is a lot of stressful things that are thrown at me, but overall I really just want to enjoy it, and being in a state of stress would prevent that from happening. So I worked really hard to just be at peace with whatever is thrown at me.
That's great. Do you think the average student at MCA or high school, or what mode do you think that they live in?
I think it depends on the time of year.
Yeah.
I think MCA is obviously a really hard school. So I know I was in sympathetic mode most of my time here probably. So yeah, I'd say probably most of us are in sympathetic mode. Now, hopefully, besides finals and everything, we're in parasympathetic.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd say overall sympathetic.
What do you think, so besides finals, what do you think feeds being in the sympathetic mode?
I think, just the workload. We have a really high passing grade. We have a big workload, and it's all going to pay off eventually. But I think that can definitely lead to high amounts of stress, for sure. I know it did for me.
For sure. So how do you manage that? What advice would you give to a 7th or 8th grader or fellow seniors on how to manage that?
I think realize that your grades don't define you. Whether you pass or fail, it doesn't change you as a person. I think define yourself. You can find your identity in Christ, and in Christ only. You can't find your identity in your grades and how good you do on a test and anything like that. So I think just be rooted in your beliefs in that sense.
That's great. Are there any ways can we manage our external environment to be less stressful? It's mostly internal is what's important, but are there ways that we can carry that out into our external environment?
For me, I'm a big procrastinator. So whenever I don't procrastinate, I'm a lot less stressed. I know a lot of people at MCA are also procrastinators. So I think just managing your time wisely, we have a really good schedule where we are able to really practice time management in there. So utilizing that resource will help us.
Cool. What do you do just to relax, just for fun? To nap. Love a good nap.
I enjoy playing ukulele.
Okay, cool. That's great. Cool.
It helps me de-stress.
Awesome. Thank you.
Simi, do you think it's possible to go too far in pursuing holistic health? You get too fanatical about it?
I think when you get to the point where it consumes your brain, if it's your first, it should be, I think it should kind of be something in the background. It shouldn't take over your family, your school life, really. It should just be something that happens in the background. So yeah, I think if it gets put on your relationship with God, your relationship with your family, that's when it's all good.
So let's fast forward a few years into the future, and you're married and you have kids, and you're the good mom. You're wanting to give them nutritious food, and all these 4 pillars. But then you send them off to public school or even a private school, and there's just junk food everywhere, every day. How do you fight that? So I see what goes on up here, and there's a continuous string of moms out there dropping off Chick-fil-A, to kids every day.
Well, I'm not a parent, but
we're just pretending.
Yeah. I think just before your kid goes to school, I don't know how easy it is to make your kid believe something when they're young, but really root into their brain that this is bad for you. You don't want to eat this. I don't know how easy that would be, because I've never done it before. So that's what I'm going to, tell them the truth.
Ask your mom, she'll know. Okay, so do you think that would you be interested in education, holistic education in the future, like maybe trying to counsel or lobby lawmakers to hey, this is a national problem that nobody seems to be paying much attention to. We need to do something about this.
Yeah, for sure. That would be really cool.
And if you were a legislator, if you were a lawmaker, would you pursue that kind of?
Yeah, for sure.
Say, I'll vote for you. Okay. All right. Let's see. I got this thing's so long it takes me. Let's see. It says if you're putting garbage into your body, you can expect to get garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. I learned that a long time ago in writing computer programs. So is it the same for your mind and your spirit?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so how do you put good stuff in today's age? Because it's all what do they call that? Social media.
I think just asking God to guide you. Asking Him to take control of your mind and for Him to be the center of your life. And for Him to guard your mind, basically.
Okay. You made reference in here that, to grow good crops, you have to have good soil, fertile soil. So how do you keep the soil in your mind and body fertile?
I think just keep your relationship with God strong.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. Well, I'll call it quits there.
Well, Simi, now it is your turn to ask us your question.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you each an individual question, and then I have a question for you overall. So for Ms. Shelburne, I know you've been using holistic health in your life for a long time. What has it helped you with in your life recently?
Oh, you said recently. Yes, I have been doing the holistic life, and have the struggles of valleys and everything, and I was the sickly child, and just grew up being sick, always sick, and us old timers know I was always out being sick and everything. But holistic, just totally working with it and everything, off of 6 inhalers, not using the nebulizer and things like that. But you totally changed that. Now I'm not sick, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this is pretty nice, Mm-hmm. But you said recently, holistic. My husband and I have both been practicing it. And a year ago, my husband had a heart attack, and that was a hard decision, because with the heart attack, I was so thankful, for Western medicine, conventional, going in, putting his stent in. But we walked out of there, and they said, okay, you're going to have to be on all these statins. You're going to have to take an aspirin daily. And we were like, no, wait a minute. So the side effects of the statins, we were like, no, we cannot do this to you. And so that was the hardest thing, finding a holistic cardiologist to help us through that reign, because everyone said, you cannot get off of this. And my husband did not take one statin at all. We took the aspirin for a year, and we found a cardiologist in Arizona, flew him there, did the whole game, and walking through that of just holistically, how can we not be trapped into the side effects that would eventually might shorten his life a little bit more. So that's how it's helped us, that there are alternatives out there, even with cancer, heart problems, and things, that you can treat that holistically. So, yeah.
That's good. Okay, so Mr. Rogers, I know you just had a baby. It's not even a month old yet. But so for you, how do you plan on using holistic health in raising your daughter?
That's a good question. I've started to do more research on ways to cut back on using different medications when it comes to, like if they have a fever, and obviously I have to wait and cross those bridges when I come to them. But yeah, there's a lot of podcasts that I've listened to recently about how to manage, infants or children with sicknesses. So, for instance, instead of using acetaminophen type medication, trying to bring down fevers with just different, like with baths, like purifying baths and cooling with cooling rags and stuff, but which, we'll see if those work. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, whatever keeps the baby healthy and safe. And so, I would like to be holistic with my child and do what's best. And hopefully avoid having to use a bunch of synthetic medication, but we'll see. She's still a month, so we're figuring it out. Figuring out sleep first and feeding. Yeah.
Mr. McDuffie, so I brought you eggs from our chickens all year long. So what is your favorite thing to make with the eggs that I bring you?
I've only ever made one thing.
What is that thing?
Eggs over easy. With salt and pepper and garlic.
Too. That's good. And then, so my question for all of you, I had each of you in a different class this year. Miss Shelburne, our senior assistant grade books planner, Miss Rogers in culinary, and Mr. McDuffie in government and economics. So what is your favorite memory from those classes this year?
I can go first. If you
Go ahead.
Hands down, Butter Day. We had Mrs. Snell there, which is always a good time. Got our ball jars, if everybody remembered to bring their ball jar. People came through, and we turned on some fun music, and we were shaking our jars to make butter, and it turned out really good. I thought so. Great. That's awesome. So that's for sure my favorite memory.
All right, gosh, every day in our great books class was just fantastic. That is, it is one of the best classes that I've had. I mean, I've had so many, but this group of guys and our 2 girls, 9 boys and 2 girls, has just been a great class. So every day is a good memory, but I guess my most favorite was the day that Lily decided that she was going to sit where the guys normally sit. She was going to just flip-flop. And so she sat down at the end where all that little group just hibernates, And I mean, it was like they didn't know what to do. They were just like, and Colin just came in and said, "Why are you sitting there?" And she said, "Because I want to." And he said, "But you can't." She said, "Yes, I can." So it was just, and so I just said, "Just take a chair." That whole class, they didn't know what to do because Lily was sitting in that chair and totally messed up everything, So it was just nice that she kind of ruffled their feathers a little bit there. So that was my favorite day, I guess.
What about the time that Bluey and I sang a duet to Santa Baby?
See, I've got so many memories. It was just wonderful. Yes, I still have you recorded too. That may have to pop up somewhere, But no, see that, every day was just a favorite. So thank you for allowing me to be part of a good class.
Okay, this is going to be pretty easy. It would be donut day. No, your senior class has been probably the best senior class I've ever had. You guys are a lot of fun. You complain a lot, or certain people do, but Fridays, you never knew if you were going to have 3 people show up or the whole class show up because it was 8:15 on Friday. But anyway, y'all were always a lot of fun. We had interesting conversations, and y'all participated pretty well, and so I always enjoyed coming to class every day. Y'all were a lot of fun, and I'm going to miss y'all a lot. Yes, let me pray for her. Father God, thank you that you're so good to us and that you love us, and you have poured out your love and you've shown us that you love us, and that you have a plan and a purpose for each one of us. Father, I pray for Simi as she wraps up her high school career and goes to her whatever she's got coming up next. I just pray that you'd be with her, go before her and prepare the way, and just always remind her that you're there. Help her never to forget that. And just pray for your blessings on her. Thank you for this time we've had together and that we've got to have fun doing it. And we ask all this in Christ's name. Amen. Amen.
Good job.